Hey y'all, how's everybody doing this evening? I don't know what's going on with my notifications, child. I didn't get notified for my own video. What is that about? But child, anyway, move right along. So I did a video earlier today. If you guys are interested, I said earlier in the week that I was gonna come back and do a video on uh another decoding the book of Revelation, but I did that earlier. Didn't get a notification for that either. Hope you guys will go check it out. I have to put it on my community wall. So I wanted to come back. Hey Nappy Storm, and do this video about an interview that I saw uh concerning Derrick Jaxn's wife, Naia Jackson. Now, if you don't go, if you, I'm sure a lot of you guys know who Derrick Jaxn is. In case you don't, he's supposed, he's this, relationship guru. Goes around, went around for years telling women, how to avoid certain types of dysfunctional men, and all of this and all that. Wrote these books, did all these tours, and I mean, just really, fast forward to what's going on right now. He was talking about himself, right? And I was like, oh my God, oh my God. Oh, thank you for letting me know, Adina. And so like I said, Naia Jackson, this is the far as I know, this is the only interview, which is Derrick Jaxn's wife. A lot of people didn't even realize at the time that for years that Derrick Jaxn was even married, you know. He went to her Instagram page, didn't even know the man was married, right? He's just doing the most, right? But I listened to this interview that she did on the Dear Future Wifey's channel, and I was really heartbroken by that. Let me try to pull up her picture for you guys, and please hit the like button if you don't mind. A couple of you guys are in here, maybe they help the notifications go out or something. I don't know what's going on, but I said let me come back and do this video because I said I was. So this is his wife. This is Naia Jackson, a beautiful young woman, and she's just been through so much in her life. And she talked. There were two parts of the interview. She did the first part was released yesterday. The second part was released today, right? So as I'm looking at the video, um, from yesterday this morning, the second video popped up, the part two of because there were two parts to the interview, right? The second part, you didn't listen to the interview. Yes, you looks like she's doing a lot better, right? The second part popped up as I'm listening to the first part, so I was like, oh, that's right on time, right? But I had to do the other video first, and like I said, y'all go check out that video. I had to put both of these videos on my community wall, right? But I don't know why my notifications aren't working. I'm not gonna worry about it. But anyway, I felt so I want to come back and give my thoughts on um what this young lady had said in both of those interviews, right? So, in case you didn't know, or in case you don't know, I never really paid attention to Derrick Jaxn, or I've been married for over 20 years, child. I don't need no relationship guru. I don't even understand how these new age people, whatever. Everybody think they need help from somebody. I don't know. But to each his own, right? So we know that in 2021, Tasha K came out with an exposed video on Derrick Jaxn, and he had a mistress, right? So she exposed that video to the world, and after that, people was pretty much dragging Derrick Jaxn. So he eventually comes out with his wife on the video, trying to explain to everybody what went on, a whole bunch of nonsense, a whole bunch of rubbish. So she gets on the video, she agrees to get on the video with him. And this is the infamous bonnet video that everybody was talking about back then. As soon as Tasha K exposed him for cheating on his wife, this is the bonnet video. And pretty much in this video, she said in the interview, she said she had never, she was really a shy person, is really a shy person, and she had always been behind the scenes, right? And so he asked her if she wouldn't mind doing this video. Really, it was trying to help save his brand. That's the reason why he wanted her to do the video, because like I said, Tasha K had exposed him for cheating, and he had been cheating. Come to find out, child, the whole time that they had been together, right? So, and let me go back to the first video. So in the first part of the video, Miss Naia, the wife, is explaining how she met him, right? And she's also explaining trauma. She's explaining childhood trauma that was never addressed. She said that before she was born, her birth father was questioning even if he was her dad or not, and he was never really in her life. She would go visit him with his with it went to he would she got older, and she would go visit her dad, with him and his new wife, and they would always get into it. And they were, I can't believe they are going on a holiday with this debt ceiling conflict. Hey, let me stop looking at the news, y'all. Um, she go over there and they get into it, right? And she felt like, and she was like 11, 12 years old. She always felt like it was her fault. They were arguing because she was there. She said she felt abandoned, and she said, and at 12 years old, her father died, right? And so, which further, uplifted those, really exaggerated those abandonment issues, right? Because she never got to deal with how she felt about her dad as an adult, or she could never, she was not even old enough to articulate how he was making her feel, right? So that caused her to have abandonment issues, right? And so like I said, she said after 12, when she was 12, he passed away, right? And she said of course, she went on. She said I think she said she had two brothers. Before the dad passed away, he was always active, in their football lives, and all this and all that, or either they had another daddy or something. But she couldn't. She turned into a tomboy. And all of this and all that. She said she was a chubby girl because they would play sports, and she wasn't allowed to play sports, so all she would sit around doing, and do was eat and all this and all that. So she was attributed that to the childhood trauma, right? So she says when she goes, when she's 19 years old, right? Um, her face and talked to her is now left behind by that loser. Is that right, handsome? Oh, child, I don't even know. Let me tell you. So she said, but okay, she went on and got through high school. She's in college now. She's 19 years old, right? And she said she went to a party one night with some of her family members and some of her friends, right? And she said while she was at this party, she was sexually assaulted, and she didn't feel like she could tell anybody. She didn't uh, tell nobody about this assault. She lied to her mom and said that she had just stayed overnight at her uncle's house. The whole time she is right in the house with her attacker, and she just got up the next day and kind of shoved it, down into her, just into the deepest recesses of her soul, and she went on with her life, right? And so she went on back to school. She went to college. She went to Tuskegee. And she said while she was at Tuskegee, she'd always been a shy girl. She didn't feel like she was pretty. And so then Derrick Jaxn also went to Tuskegee, right? And she says he was a popular guy. He played, sports. All the girl loves him, and she was just this quiet, shy girl with acne at the age 19, right? So she said she took some classes or a class with him, and one day, he asked her. She said she had these collages on her, little notebook, these little pictures on her little notebooks and stuff, like the teenagers used to have their little pictures and and write on your notebook, got pictures on your notebook and all that and all that. And then she said he approached her saying, were you a model or something like that? And she was shy and she couldn't believe that he was talking to her and all this and all that. Then so he went on from there and asked her, would you be my tutor? And she said she was really shy. Um, now this is only a little while after she got assaulted. Remember that, right? So she started tutoring him. They got closer. Eventually, he asked her to be his girlfriend. And the whole time they're in college, she was 19 years old when she met him, right? The whole time they're in college, they're supposed to be in this relationship. She said it was on again and off again, because he was cheating on her, throughout the relationship, right? And but because she can now say that she feels like it was because of she took so much because of the trauma, all the trauma that she had in her past, right? And I agree with that. So she said that fast forward to they got out of college. They decided they were going to move to Atlanta. She said, but before they moved to Atlanta, they had actually broken up because, yet another time she caught him cheating. Mind you, he'd been cheating the whole time on her, the whole time they in college and all this and all that. I'm telling y'all this for a reason because this is what she said in the interview, right? And so they broke up for a while, but they were supposed to, when they got out of college, move to Atlanta, right? So she said when they moved to Atlanta, they were broken up, but they still moved. They had already made plans before they broke up to move to Atlanta. She had already changed her job over to Atlanta. They had found a place and all this and all that, right? So they went on and moved to Atlanta, but they were still not back together. But they were ready to start their careers, right? And so she eventually got past yet another cheating incident, right? And so uh fast forward, well, I guess not fast forward. Just let me say this before I go any further. She said that she was with this man for 9 years, okay, starting with age 19, for 9 years before they got married, right? 9 years and a child before they got married, right? She said 2 weeks before they got married, they got into it because he got caught cheating yet another time. Okay, this is 2 weeks before they got married, but they went on and got married. But 2 weeks before they got married, he got caught cheating yet another time. Now, number one, this dude done preyed upon her. This Derrick Jaxn, this relationship guru, done preyed on her. Now, he is a predator. He is a domestic violence. I'm gonna say alleged domestic violence abuser, in my opinion, because there are many forms of abuse, right? A man doesn't have to put his hands on you to abuse you, right? He is an emotional abuser, okay? In my opinion, he is he was clearly verbally abusive. Yeah, a predator. He preyed on this girl. He's a predator. I believe. And then when you are dealing with abusers, and he's a narcissistic abuser, okay? And so he preyed on this girl. He knows she was shy. He knows she was quiet. So he prayed. He used. She was a victim. Of course she didn't realize it at the time. But we know that we have learned that domestic violence abusers, they choose their victims, right? They choose the woman with low self-esteem. They choose. They can smell it on you. They can smell it on you when they think they can use you. Especially if you're a narcissist, right? So he's a narcissist and he's a freaking abuser, in my opinion, allegedly. And these are just my feelings about it, right? Nobody don't have to agree with me, right? And so he broke up with the other lady. Well, there were several ladies, child. I ain't even got to the crust of it yet, Deputy Storm, child, right? Because like I said, the whole time they was in college, he was cheating. He ain't never not cheated on the girl. The whole time, the whole 9 years before they got married, they was married for then they got married after 9 years and a baby. Then they was married for 4 years. Honey, he was cheating the whole time then and all this and all that. Oh, and I forgot to tell y'all, she said before they got married, when they were in Atlanta, and they weren't living together at one point in time, right? She had an apartment and he had an apartment when they moved to Atlanta because they were broken up, but they still went to Atlanta together, right? And she said that, but she was still, they were still sleeping with one another, right? Child, she said it was so many women, she had to be penciled in for her time to come sleep with the man. She said she would pass the other girls going up and down the steps. She was penciled, said she was penciled in for like 8 p.m., from 8 to 9 or 9:30, and sometime they would go overtime. And by the time she left the apartment, another girl was coming up the steps. I said, oh my God, this ain't nothing but a whole incubus demon, right? And she felt like she was so tied to this man. But I wish I could have told her that, baby, Naia, you was not so tied to this man. You was dealing with an incubus demon, a sex demon. That's what she was dealing with. Okay. So I don't know if she realized that now or not, because she in the church and all this and all that. But she was dealing with a sex demon. Okay. That's why it bat almost killed her. And so anyway, just sucking the life right up out of her. I had to put this one up here. Okay. Excuse me, I had to mark the, faces out, but that's him, you know, and he's an incubus demon. That's all that he is. Okay, a sex demon, nothing more, nothing less. He's a sex demon, right? And so, okay, so let me go back. Okay, so they're in Atlanta before they got married. He got this whole train of women. They ain't married yet. Coming in and out of his life. She was penciled in. She was in the rotation, right? I believe she called it the rotation. If she didn't call it the rotation, I'm calling it the rotation. She was in the rotation, right? Child. Okay, so she said, she couldn't take it no more. So she called his mama and she told her, like, look, I can't keep dealing with this. I'm gonna have to leave him alone. I'm just basically, I guess, asking his mom for help because she clearly wasn't done with him yet, right? So evidently his mama talked to him. A little bit after she called the mama and talked to the mama, next thing you know it, he's asking her to marry him, right? Now, mind you, he is narcissistic this whole time. But she wrapped up in this man that she think love her and she can't live without, but this ain't nothing but dysfunction. That's all it is, right? She even thought she was so tied to him, but this is dysfunction. This is a incubus demon, a sex demon on you. Okay. He don't want to do nothing but destroy you. He is sleeping with the enemy. I'm sure a lot of y'all seen that movie, Sleeping with the Enemy, right? Now this is what happens, unfortunately, to a lot of women, right? This is why I want to talk about this, right? Because last week we had a discussion kind of like this, right? But this went on for 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 plus years, right? 13 years. She gave her all of her 20s and a couple of years into her 30s, because she said she's 33 years old now, to this man, to the point to where she said if she would have stayed in the marriage any longer, she'd have died. Okay? But that is what an incubus demon wants to do. Steal your soul, want to break you. He's a narcissistic domestic violence abuser, in my opinion. This is my opinion. Ain't nobody got to agree with it, right? So I'm jumping the gun. I had to get that part out about him because Lord have mercy, right? Now, a person, some people be like, well, she should have left him alone way before, all this and all that, why she stayed. Well, she explained why she stayed. She had been abused, she had been assaulted, she had abandonment issues. It was a lot going on in her head, right? And she thought at the end of the day, she didn't deserve better, right? She didn't think, even though she said her mama and them was telling her, look, you ain't got to be, living like this and all this and all that. But that demon is on her, honey, and she could not, he done that, he's a narcissist. The first, we know that when it comes to domestic violence, the first thing a domestic violence abuser likes to do is separate you from your family. She said her family lives in Denver. Her family, all of her family's in Denver, and she down south here in Carolina and first to Carolina, I think North Carolina. Then they moved to Atlanta. After that, even they moved to Texas. But her family is in Denver, right? She goes on to tell her, so she pretty much separated from her family. She said the mama never liked him. They got into it. They didn't get along, right? During the interview they did together, I thought she was going to Well, she said, honey, if she didn't get out of the relationship, she'd have died. She thought contemplating, unaliving herself and all this and all that. But she did mention sometimes that she was going off, and I'm sure she didn't say it online, but I'm sure from discussion she kept saying, I wasn't always saved, I wasn't always saved. She wasn't leaving them, but she was fighting. They was going at it. They was going back and forth, for years and years and years. She just didn't never have the strength to leave him alone, right? So they finally get married. I'm trying to pull up this other picture. And she is such a pretty woman. And I just can't believe you just don't never know what somebody's going through, right? You're fooling around with all these women, right? So that was the first part of the video, right? When she was talking about, how they met and how long they were together before they got married and all of this and all of that, right? And so that was kind of, the preface for the second part of the video. Now on the second part of the video, um, she started talking about what led up to this infamous bonnet video. She said it was a beret. Everybody was saying, like I said, Tasha K exposed Mr. Derrick Jaxn for having a mistress. She had the video, because the mistress had gave, I believe, Tasha K the video, and Tasha K done, played the video and done exposed the man, right? Now the guy that was interviewing her, he asked her, was she shocked? Now I'm fast forwarding, right? There was a lot of stuff that happened in between then, right? So I'm gonna fast forward to this part. Now, but before this happened, she said that okay, they got married 2 weeks before he got caught cheating. After they got married, he was cheating the whole time. She said, now this whole time, his career, he building his career. He's doing, doing real good. And they done made a whole lot of money. She said she living a good life. She said she felt like she was a whole Atlanta housewife without being on the show. That's how she felt. She said they bought a 9,000 square foot home mansion in Atlanta. She said she was living close to the entertainers, or all this and all that there. She said at the same time, and she had 2 kids by this time, living well, living well, monetarily, but she was still sad and alone. She said they had this big old mansion, but he also had a condo in Atlanta, right? And he said he had to have the condo for business purposes, because he had to go to the condo, and tape the videos and just run the business from the condo. And then the man asked her, he said, well, why couldn't y'all had a 9,000 square foot home? Why he couldn't like build a studio in the home? Which was a very good question. She said, well, he said the kids was too loud and all this and all that. She was like, well, he could have built something in the, on the property, right? And she was like, well, yeah, but he got the condo and all this and all that, and blah, 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 blah. And she also mentioned that she was uh this whole time she was behind the scenes helping him with the business. She wasn't in front of the camera, but she was like, just working, just doing, what you do behind the camera. Like I guess like whatever you do, like the books and managing people and whatever else. She was doing all that behind the scenes, right? But it's like I said, a lot of people didn't even know the girl was married. They didn't even know that he was married, right? So of course he's still cheating. She said he's still talking to these women's on the phone and all this and all that. She said she started getting sick. She said, oh, and during the time that she was having a baby, she had postpartum. Each time she got pregnant, I can understand why. Stress will do that to you. There's a whole lot of stuff that she was going through mentally and emotionally. Before we get to this video, she said that actually she had left him for 8 months. They had broke up because she couldn't take it no more. And that is when she said she believed that if she would have stayed there any longer before she left for the 8 months, she would have died. She said she was real sick. She was underweight. Because she know he cheating and she ain't never calling him out on it. She said they went to premarital counseling, but he didn't finish it because she started uh yeah, he said he told her she come to the condo, he was gonna call the police on her. I said, no, he didn't. I was like, let me tell you something. If that was my husband and he would have said that to me, Do you realize the condo wouldn't be standing? It would be ash, child. Ash. Just ash. Just ash. Just a shell of a condo. But anyway, move right along. Um, so she left to save her life. She took her kids. She said she packed up her kids, right? She couldn't take it no more. She felt like she was gonna die if she stayed there any longer. She eventually packs up her kids. Well, her mom came down because he called her mama because he felt like she was acting crazy because she was, she said she had started going to see therapists, and she was trying to get get herself together, and she was getting in the word, and she was telling him that you need to get saved, and all this and all that. And so he calls the mama, because mind you, he a demon. He calls the mama, telling her something, you need to come down here and check on her, blah 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 blah, something wrong with her. Honey, what wrong with her is you. You is what's wrong with her, Derrick. You, right? And so her mama called her. She talked to her mom. Her mom flew down there. So after her mama flies down to Atlanta, she says she gets in her car, and they drove. Hey, Saida, and they drove from Atlanta, all the way to Denver. Right? She backed up her two kids and her mama in the car, and they drove. They left Atlanta and drove to Denver. Right now, while they on the road driving, her phone gets cut off. Right? Her phone get now. By this time, he eventually he knows she gone and all this and all that. But while she was in transit, the phone get cut off. And the man said, "Well, why did your phone get cut off?" He said we was having financial difficulties. I said, "Child, you got all this money, but you having financial difficulty." No, you cut her phone off as a means to punish her because she had left your butt and took the kids, right? Not that you cared that she had left you, just the fact that you are a narcissist. You can't believe that she got the balls of leaving. That's why he cut the phone off, right? So she says she's traveling back with her mom and her two kids in the car, and they drove all the way back to Denver, right? She said when they gets to Denver, now mind you, her phone is still cut off. When they got to Denver, because her phone was cut off, she called him on the phone. She used somebody's phone, maybe her mama's or whoever. She calls him on the phone and be like, I left. I'm in Denver, and he's like, pretty much, basically, I know I'm already here in Denver. Come outside so we can talk. But she was like, what you mean, come outside and talk? She said, honey, he was posted up at the mama house in Denver, but the mama had moved and she didn't live at that house no more. And she was like, well, you got the wrong address because my mama don't live there no more, right? Now he done let this woman drive with her phone cut off. And I'm thinking he didn't know that the mama was with her at the time. So that means she would have been driving from Atlanta to Denver with no phone because you cut it off. But your excuse for cutting it off was you was having financial. No, you did that for meanness, right? So she's like, well, she said her mom was in the background. She's like, just got home. You're not gonna see him. It's too late. You need to rest and all this and all that, right? Right, Saida. And then she said the next day or a couple of days after, the next day, she didn't see him that night. The next day she met him at some kind of, her mama drove her, or her and her mama drove to IHOP or something. Anyway, they had a conversation on the phone. I mean, they had a conversation at the IHOP. Mind you, he in Denver now, right? As soon as he found out she was gone, he wanted to beat her there. So, but you cut her phone off and then you flew to Denver and you was there. You let her drive all that time, but you was there. Okay. Okay. I see how we doing this, right? This is manipulation. Mind you, for years and years and years, he done manipulate this girl, and for the life of me, I'm looking at this young woman's interview, and I know she praying and doing so good now, and all of this and all that, but child, Lord have mercy. I hope she don't fool with that fool again. That's all I'm gonna say, right? So I hope she done got better now, right? So she said she stayed there. They stayed broke up for 8 months. She would not go back home like he wanted her to. Because, of course, the reason why he flew to Denver in the first place, because, like I said, he's a domestic violence abuser, in my opinion. Okay? Because you don't have to hit somebody to abuse them. Okay? He's a manipulator. He played with her mind. He played on her insecurities and everything in between. Cheated on her the whole time simply because he could, right? Simply because he could. Right? How he got a whole condo and can't pay the phone bill? Child. She sure better stick with freedom if she know what's good for her. Cut that phone off and she on her way with her 2 kids in the car. She didn't know that. I don't even think he knew that the mama was in the car. He did that for meanness. I'm like, oh, baby. Let me say, some women are long suffering, right? And like I said, these predators, these domestic violence abusers, these users, these freaking narcissists, these freaking sociopaths, they don't care nothing about you. He ain't never cared about that girl. He preyed on her, and he knew he could, ain't no telling, he had a plan for his life, right? She was just part of the plan, right? He planned to be this fake relationship guru of this love doctor. He ain't never not cheated on her, but he chose her for the fact that he knew that he could get away with it. And I know I said that earlier, but just let me reiterate, okay? That's why he chose her. That's why she allowed him to do her the way that he did her for so many years, because she had all these issues. She had all these issues with trauma. So she allowed him to do this, but I feel bad for her, right? So stay broke up for 8 months. She said the whole time she was down there in Denver with her mom, he was coming at least every couple of weeks or at least every month. He's begging the whole time, come back, we need to get together. By this time they married, blah 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 blah. So eventually she finally gives in, but she gives him some rules. She said she was a stop along the way of his journey and make sure he had 2 kids by him. Child, he had a whole plan, just Andrew. Do you hear me? He ain't never cared about that girl. Never. But we know when it comes to a succubus demon and some of these men, they will use you, they can't use you no more. And he is beyond a domestic violence. He a whole succubus demon, in my opinion. And I do believe her when she say if she would have stayed, any longer in Atlanta before she left to go to Denver, she would have died. I absolutely believe that. Because he was literally sucking the life up out of her. And this whole time, mind you, she said she knew that he was doing all this stuff. She never would approach him about what was going on, right? I just got her the interview, but it was eating her alive. She said she was looking at, she got in his social media, hacked into his phone. He had sex videos of him sleeping with other women on his phone. She reading emails. She reading, she said they would be in the bed and he's sexting other women, right beside her and all of this and all of that. And for years, she knew it. He was doing it. She wouldn't say nothing. Child, there was a lot going on, right? And just eating her alive the whole time. She said at one point in time, let me put y'all some of the stuff. I want to get this right. She just said so much. I just felt so bad for her. Like, my God. But she said her mom and them, they was trying to talk to her, during this whole time. At one point in time, she says, now this is her. I pulled up this article, right? This is an older article, but she says I went in such a deep hole where I was like studying. She was studying these women, right? Because she was putting up they, Instagram pages and Facebook pages, I guess, and all this and all that, because she done hacked into his phone and stuff, right? She said she was studying these women. She said I would go to their profiles and I would study their pages, and like what they and she said, and she would like what they were. She revealed, she said, I knew when they had met. She even knew when he met him, child. Okay. She said I watched their videos of them having sex. So I would try to, so she was watching the videos, y'all, to try to imitate and recreate what the kind of, relations that they were having. She was trying to, recreate what they was doing to him so that in hopes that he would choose her. I said, oh my God. So she's living with all of this stuff, right? And then on another one of the parts of the interview, she says, I hate that he even got to a point where that she hates she even got to a point to where it was a thing, right? She said, I became a shell of myself. She says Jackson revealed, referring to her statement, she wrote this on a post that she knew the other women's bodies better than she knew her own, right? And she said what she meant by that was she had watched these videos and try to imitate what they were and imitate he was torturing her, sleeping with the enemy. That the whole incubus demon. That's all it was, just Andrew trying to kill the girl, right? you know. Um, yeah, and she was abused. She was abused. You don't have to put your hands up. That mental abuse and that emotional abuse, coupled with that trauma that she never dealt with, that is deadly. And he knew exactly what he was doing to her. He knew exactly what he was doing to her. Okay, even to the point to where she left and stayed gone for 8 months, and he tried to beg her back. See, he didn't. That incubus demon didn't know it. He broke her. He broke her, but she wasn't shattered. But he was breaking her a little bit at a time, because she said by the time she got to Houston, to Denver with her mom and them, she was underweight, and she was ill before she left Atlanta. They had to nurse her back to health, help her with the kids. She mentally going through trauma. Oh, and she said when she was in the house before she went to Denver, it's just so much, y'all. That's why I keep going back and forth. She said, she was under spiritual attack, and she absolutely was under in spiritual warfare, under demonic attack. That coupled with whatever she got going on in her head, that coupled with postpartum, she felt like her children were being under attack. She said she felt like it was demonic activity going on in the house. She said she walked in her daughter's room, where her daughter was 1 at the time, walked in her daughter's room, and her daughter was lifted up after bed onto her feet, right? And she felt like the demons was attacking her baby, child. And I'm like, oh my God, you know. And this and then, if when it comes out now, if I wasn't the person that I've been like, you know what, she was all the way gone mentally. But I can't say that, because I believe in stuff like that. And I know that stuff can happen to you. And I know that she was laying up with a succubus demon, and that demon was trying to take her life. Okay? Because we know that the devil don't do nothing but come to steal, kill, and destroy, right? And this man, I believe, is truly a succubus demon. So I believe when she say that she felt like her children was even under attack, because that time she had start, pleading the blood of Jesus. She done tried all these therapists and everything she could try. The only thing left for her to try was God, right? And so she started getting into that word, and you know that this demon, and it real heavy. I believe in it. I absolutely believe in it, because the devil don't want to let you go. So I believe he started attacking her children. Okay. So she started getting into the word, pleading the blood of Jesus, getting stronger. And the stronger when you finally start trying to come up out of there, and you fighting, when you put on the put on God as your armor, the devil is gonna get stronger, because he ain't gonna want to let you go. And that incubus demon did not want to let you go. Why do you think he followed her to Denver, Colorado? He beat her to Denver. But why? You had everything you wanted. Why you bother her? You cut off her phone, being mean. Because I truly don't believe that I truly don't think that he knew her mama was with her. And that's why he cut that phone off, trying to be mean. And she had the 2 kids in the car. What if the car would have broke down with the 2 kids? What was she going to do? How was she going to call for help? He did that for meanness. But as soon as she get to Denver, you right there. You got there before she got there? Child. But anyway, she knows she had to make a change. Her mama finally told her that you are in spiritual warfare. You are under attack. And I absolutely, she said her mama told her, I've been waiting, for this. Because her mama had been waiting for her to come to a point to where she realized that she needed to save herself. Because when you are an adult, we know that when it comes to adults, if a person ain't ready to go, when it comes to this type of relationship, it ain't nothing you can say, no matter who you are, that can turn that person away from that toxic situation until they are ready to make a change, right? So her mama told her that you under spiritual attack, you and your children, and I absolutely agree with what her mama told her. I don't, people was calling that girl crazy because of that video that she did. Not only did she do one video, the first video she did with him, when they was calling it the bonnet video, he was doing all the talking and trying to explain away the fact that Tasha K exposed the tape. Showed the actual the mistress is the one that gave the tape to Tasha K, and Tasha K exposed him, and he's sitting there trying to explain it away. And I love my wife and blah 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 and blah whatever. Okay, yeah, she just sitting there like a deer in headlights. She said she had never been in front of the camera before. And she said when she did that second video though, what child? Okay. So after 8 months, it was gone, right? She said that he agreed to her terms. She said before, now mind you, he's begging her to come back home this whole time. Now mind you, he ain't begging her to come back home cause he love her. He ain't begging her to come back home cause he missed his kids. In my opinion, he was begging her to come back home to save his career, right? So she comes back home. She said he gonna follow the rules, and one of the rules was that he can't fool with the women's no more. He changed his phone number. Stop being in contact with any of them, and not only that, we got to get some counseling, through the church, and all of this and all that. Talk to the pastors, and he agreed to everything, right? Even agreed to moving from Atlanta to Texas, right? So he packs up. She said he packed up the whole house and met her in Houston or somewhere like that. So they moved to Texas, right? He done changed the phone number. He's going to the therapy and talking to the church people, just doing whatever he can do, right? Trying to suck her back in, right? So he did all that, and she went back to him. They changed the phone number, moved to another state, and everything, right? Come to find out, honey, that leopard ain't changed his spots, right? He ain't changed his spots. Right, so they moved to Texas. Ain't nothing changed. He's still doing the same thing. She said, come to find out. Now, y'all have to tell me if this is the truth or not. But she said, it's some kind of function that the iPhone has that you can have secret messages or something like that. And she said she was not aware of that function on the iPhone. But I don't even know how she found out about these secret messages, child. But she found out she found out about them secret messages, right? And so by the time Tasha K had dropped, exposed him with the mistress video, she said she already knew about that video. Before Tasha K dropped it, she already knew about that mistress. Before it even came out to the public, she already knew about it. So by the time they did the bonnet video, she had already knew about it, right? So she wasn't shocked at all. She was embarrassed because now it's done. He done been exposed to the whole world, you know, and all of this and all that. But on that first video, when she was just sitting there like a deer in the headlights, now I even seen some of the videos that was blaming her. They was dogging her out for something that, now he the one that cheated. He the one done abused this woman for years, over a decade by this time. Okay, ain't never not cheated on her the whole time, and they blaming her. Well, no wonder he was cheating. Look at the way she look and blah blah this and blah blah that. She's saying, but not knowing the whole time they had just came from a funeral and a wake. They had just buried his uncle, and through all of that, she pregnant with the third child, right? So she had morning sickness. She's sitting up on this camera. She been publicly humiliated. But she's still sitting up on this camera trying to stand by her man, trying to save their marriage, trying to save his reputation, not trying to save their marriage, trying to save their he was trying to save his reputation, right? Because he done got exposed, and he talking about F boys, and just talked about the type of man that he was for years, right? Spoke out against them. Ladies, you ain't got to be treated this way, blah, blah, this and blah, blah, that, right? The whole time he really talking about himself. No wonder why he was a expert and knew what to say and how to say it. And his tours and books are so successful because the very person that he's talking about is him. He's warning women against men like him. So, in my opinion, that's kind of like, that's beyond hypocritical. That's like, okay, we know it's narcissistic. It's sadistic. It's sick, right? Because the very men that you are denouncing, you are one of those men. Okay? Women, don't forget to pick up your crown, I think was one of the books. Hey, George, how you doing, love? Just the whole thing. He just cheating the whole time. The whole time it was good. Did you hear about this, George? Child, so like I said, by the time Tasha K exposed that video, she said she knew about it ahead of time, right? So she agreed. She said he asked her, would you like to come on camera, blah blah this and blah blah that. He ain't demanding it, he just asking it, and he just real calm, about this whole thing. Of course he gonna be calm about the whole thing. He think he can still manipulate you. He can still, girl, he been doing it for over 10 years, over a decade, since she was like 10 years old. Okay. And so, and then when it comes to a narcissistic person, they never want to let their victim go. You know, that was he when he went down there and did all that in Denver. He didn't care nothing about her or them kids. He's just a narcissist, an incubus demon, a domestic violence abuser. He wasn't ready to let her go. Okay. And so anyway, the fuel is on these. Okay. So she do the video, the bonnet video, the first video. Did I have a picture of that? Hold on, let me see if I can pull up the first video of the bonnet video. This child just I breezed all over this whole story a long time ago. And I just rolled my eyes at it. I didn't pay that much attention to it. I'm not even gonna lie. So that's the video that she was talking about. You know, she had never been in front of the camera. She had already been behind the camera, always been behind the camera, you know, in the background. A lot of people didn't even know he was married, right? And she was just sitting there. She said she felt embarrassed. You know, she really didn't know what to say, right? Which was not much of nothing at all. And that's what she said. That's when she started, you know, saying that she was putting on the helmet of salvation and all this and all that, right? She said she was new, you know, in her walk with the Lord, and she really was trying to stay in a Christian mindset after she done, seen this. She's so conditioned by this time to protect this relationship and this man to where that's why she just sitting there like that, right? And so okay. So the exposed video came out. Everybody talking about him. Everybody dogging him out. But when she got on camera, they start talking, talking bad about her, saying she was crazy and all of this. She talking crazy and all this and all that there, right? So a little bit after that, he goes on Instagram. Now, a little bit after the video came out, she said she was sitting downstairs because, of course, they had been into it, right? She was sitting downstairs and he sent her a text message. She was upstairs, right? But he sent her a text message on the phone informing her that he wanted a divorce. I was like, wait, what? So after all this, now mind you, she had been to know about this chick and all of this her and all of that there, known about all the women for years and years and years. Because she even said when they was going through marriage counseling with the church, in Houston or wherever they was in Texas, he had to write a list of all the women that he done fooled with. And he said it was over 100 names on that list of women that he had fooled with. And he said that the chick that exposed the tape, she wasn't even on the list. So she was a new one. Okay. She was a new one. She said that people were saying she knew about 11 of the women, and she was saying she knew about more than 11 of them, honey. Gave her that, and she better be. I'm so glad. I'm glad he was practicing safe sex. My God. A whole incubus demon. And he sound like he's some kind of, uh, uh, beyond narcissism. He got some kind of issue going on with what do you call it when you're addicted to sex and all this? That's what he sound like, right? This is really disgusting, right? How you going to ask for a divorce? Yes, ask for a divorce in a text message, child. I was like, oh my God. Right? Informed her that they was getting a divorce. Let me try to pull this other thing up. So in 2021, after that, he puts this on his Instagram page, right? Over the past several months, blah, 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 gone through change, blah, blah. Some of you have speculated while others of you have reached out to offer support, blah, 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 blah. Earlier this year, after much prayer and counseling and deep consideration, okay, we decided to go our separate ways and filed for divorce. No, nigga, you filed for divorce first. She said after she said on the interview that after he initially filed for divorce, right? A little bit after that, she went and filed for divorce as well, right? For dissolution of marriage. He filed, and then she filed after he filed, which is absolutely what she was supposed to do, right? So anyway, well, we decided we filed for divorce. Like we know you filed for a divorce, right? Making decision to file was one of the hardest decisions of my life. No, nigga, you trying to save your career. That's it. That's all. You trying to save face. Okay. of my life. But I found peace knowing that our mission of raising healthy children, which you don't care about at all. She said he didn't spend no time with the kids. That was one of the stipulations of her getting back together with him after the 8 month separation. That he scheduled in, pencil in some time to spend with his family. Okay. Now this 2021, right after the tape went out, after he done asked for divorce, blah blah blah. Y'all can read the rest of that. We asked that if you pray, please pray for us as we navigate this grieving. Nigga, you ain't grieving at all. You embarrassing. You don't want to lose no money. Okay. If not, please respect our privacy. Child, I'm moving right along. Okay, mm-mm. But anyway, mm-hmm. Cause damn the girl, I'm listening to this child on this video, and the more she talked, the more upset I get. Do you hear me? Oh my God. But this is what happened when you're dealing with trauma. And she didn't have no value. She didn't have no value in herself. She didn't have no self-respect. She didn't have no boundaries, and she didn't have no standards. Okay. And she was loyal to a fault. Okay. She felt like if she give this man her everything, that he would eventually act right. And we know that is not true, because I have said times and times again on here that when it comes to a relationship, you have to be selfish when it comes to a relationship. Especially if you are the female in the relationship. You have to be selfish. You never give a man all of you. That is a mistake. Okay? And the other thing she did was she messed up, was she let him know about her trauma. Now he already done sniffed trauma in her, but she goes on to tell her about all the trauma she done endured, as a child. He already a predator. He used that to his advantage. She was the perfect victim for him to do like this, right? Devin said, is he religious too? No, he wasn't religious. He just did that stuff, going through the motions, trying to get back with her. And he was just trying to get back with her, trying to save his career. Child, he care nothing about her. Don't care nothing about her now. He the one filed for divorce, not her. Mm-hmm. I always thought they prayed together. Well, I mean, after they moved, after the 8 month thing, when he was faking like he was really trying to get into church. But until then, no. No. No, none of that. Anyway, so that's the malarkey, the propaganda, the fake ish that he put out in 2021, right? He filed for divorce. A little bit after that, she said she failed also, right? Now, what else I have to say after that? Okay, she found on oh, but after, look, this is what I didn't understand. I still don't get this. I don't understand. So after, y'all, after he asked for divorce, another video came out of her. Child, she done cursed the people. Oh no, this ain't the word right here. This the curse, right? She came out with a video. And she was warning people, look, basically don't speak ill on my marriage. And it sounded like it was a curse, right? She said she's a young Christian at this point in time. And she said she was using the word, right? So she said she got on that camera, child, with the video with the green military shirt on, with that beret still on, child. I'm going to show you in a minute. But she started reading this, right? Psalm 109, right? And the way she read it, she said she was just reading it for, shock value, as a means to get back at these people that were speaking ill about her and all of this and all that. And people were saying that she was running around cursing people. putting the curse on the people that was talking about her marriage. Now this is after y'all, he done asked for a divorce. She went back on camera and said all of this, the Psalm 109. But when our actuality, and she was right, it was for shock value, because it really is not a curse. Really is not a curse. I had to put it up for y'all. It is a plea for judgment of false accusers, right? She wanted to, she really was trying to speak the word and saying, basically saying, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. Y'all accusing me falsely. Y'all don't even know what I done been through, right? Basically, but it came out, but she had to admit that she was being petty. In my opinion, she didn't say the word. I'm gonna say the word. She was, but she was being petty. And you know, black folks don't like curses. Come on now. She said the psalm say, "Who may your husband and wives become widows, that your children become fatherless, that your seeds become vagabonds on the earth. Let the words of your mouth and the words of your hands be returned back to you." Child, she was doing the most on this psalm, right? I'm like, girl, ooh, okay, all right, child. He must have realized he couldn't do anything on her. Oh, right, Saida, right. So they really start calling her crazy after she went through this, right? But she really is going through, in my opinion, she's going like when you, for some people, I'd imagine when you get divorced, and I've heard it spoke of this way, it's like going through a death. You know what I mean? So you go through the stages of grief, right? And so even that's why I believe even after you know, she had been embarrassed, you know, in front of the whole world, and she was kind of like in shock. I mean, she had been with this man for well over a decade, right? Like out from the time she was 19, and she's now like she's 33 now. So if this happened in 2001, she was like what, 31? It's 2020, 30, 31 years old, still a young woman, but I mean, this all she done know this type of trauma for over a decade, right? So this is her, trying to deal with it without spazzing out on people, just going slap crazy on the internet, you know. And so she figured she, put that little thing out there, but she was like, I'm not crazy, and I really wasn't cursing nobody. This was just me basically being petty, is what she was saying. Y'all got to listen to the video yourself, child. But anyway, when she did the curse video, that's the outfit she had on right there, right? That's the say her incubus demon. So she goes on to tell about, oh, and what surprised me. Okay, so they went through all of that, they broke up now, all this and all that, right? So here's why I still don't trust this situation. Now she said, she moving past it, she healing, she done started her own thing. She done started a program for women that's done been through a Christian program for women. That's the organization, I believe, that's done been through, what she done been through, and wanting to help them and all of this and all. I think she said it's called Healed or something like that. I should have looked it up before I came on, but I came on. If y'all listen to the video, y'all see what she's saying, right? So this past, what is it, last week? Was it last week when Mother's Day was? Now, mind you, okay, 2021 is when he asked for the divorce, right? Acting really, because she said he had blocked her on all his social media sites. He had blocked her and everything, right? So this past Mother Day on Instagram, he drops this on Mother's Day, right? No matter what changes we had in our lives, I've some been changes in your dedication to our children. Thank you for showing up for them. Even in times you struggle to show up for yourself. That is shade, okay? Do you hear me? That is shade. It's disrespectful and it's shade. Cause boy, you better whoo, whoo, thank you for learning a whole new love language so you could better give and receive love with Marley. Okay. Talking about this little baby girl, right? Thank you for, cause he mentioned Marley in particular because she said she got a lighter hue little baby girl, like she has a lighter hue, but she got a chocolate little girl. I guess she deeply melanated like her daddy, right? She said she was even questioning God at one point in time. Why did you give me this dark hued baby when you know that this is the type of woman that This is his preference, right? So she even felt a way at one point in time about the color of the child's skin, y'all. Right? She even had to work through something like that. Right? So that's what he mentioned, right? So this is still shade, right? She said, thank you. He says, thank you for always being a nurturing, safe space for Derrick Jr., talking about the little boy. You don't care about him anyway. What you mean? To express his emotions in a healthy way. Thank you for somehow keeping up with um Alicia's sporadic sleep schedule and high energy. Now that's the one that she felt like the demons was attacking. Okay. hmm That one. Mothers like you don't get enough credit. But on today, I hope you feel as appreciated as you are. Uh-huh. Our children are blessed to have you in their lives, and I will always honor you for the endless sacrifices you make for them. Happy Mother's Day. Okay. So this 2023. This is recent. This past Mother's Day, child. Okay. So she says her friends call her and they talking on the phone. Her friend girl calls her and they talking on the phone. She was like, "Girl, did you see what Derrick wrote on this community wall towards you on Mother's Day?" She was like, "No, she said, but let me go see," because she said she was blocked on his she thought she was still blocked. She didn't even know she was unblocked, right? So she goes over there and she reads the post. She said not only did he not tag her in the post, now this is supposed to be to her on Mother's Day, right? This how manipulated this food is, and just dirty and just disgusting this food. He number one, he didn't tag her in the post. And she said number two, he didn't even have the nerve to spell her name right in the post, child. Didn't even spell her name, didn't tag her in the post, didn't spell her name right in it, but been married to the woman, been knowing her since she was 19 years old. You couldn't even spell her name right? Are you kidding me? So she mentioned that. And the guy was basically saying, well, do you think the post was genuine? And she didn't say no, but let me say it for you, girl. No, you know it wasn't genuine. You know he was doing that to save face. I guess he's still trying to make it seem like that he's just so deeply sorry. Now, where is the post saying, I'm so sorry for the way I treated you for over a decade. I realized I was wrong. I realized that the very man that I was lying to these women and telling them they need to stay away from, I am that very man. That's why I was so good at telling them about it, telling them about the F boys, because I'm an F boy in my own self. Where is that post, right? So she was like, no, it was just for publicity. And I agree, it was just for publicity. Didn't tag her in it. She didn't know she was unblocked. Didn't spell her name back. You throwing shots and shade in the whole post. Okay. Y'all been broke up since 2021. But kind of find out. But what got me, y'all, out of everything that she said, what got me was at the end when the man asked her, he was assuming that they was now divorced. But guess what, y'all? They are still married, technically. They are not together anymore. But technically, on paper, the divorce has not been finalized. Child, I was like, wait a minute. Y'all still married? So technically, she is still married to this man. So I said to myself, self, now he noticed she is doing better. Okay, she is moving it right along. She's still going through her therapy. She's doing her own thing now. She ain't fooling with the man, right? And I'm thinking to myself, I said, self, is it trying to manipulate this girl, this woman? Is it trying to get back in her good graces? Trying to want to have something to do with her once again? So I'm thinking, I hope this girl ain't weak. And I hope she don't fall for this. But it seemed like, she got on her full armor now. And she gonna leave that incubus demon alone. And I hope she stand true. But she know all these tricks now. I truly believe that her eyes is open. I think that she is done. She is doing the work. But she is still not where I want her to be, you know. Cause where I want her to be is F you. I'm going to take everything away from you. I'm going to make you pay. Okay? For the rest of your life. I'm going to destroy your world. But would not be the Christian thing to do. Okay? But that is where I would like her to be. But then again, you have to think about it. Because the Bible says, vengeance is mine, saith the Lord, right? And we know that when karma comes for him, there is no karma, no wrath greater than God's wrath. And so she just need to keep praying in the word and keep moving forward. Go on and finalize that divorce. Okay. Now I don't know why it's taking so long. I don't know what she didn't go into the particulars as to why they are technically still married. Okay. Don't understand it, don't get it, but I bet it's got a lot to do with finances and spousal support and stuff like child support. Just a whole bunch of nonsense because I'm thinking he want to keep everything, and it would be a no from me. Okay, because they got 3 small children. No, even if they didn't have none, you weren't keeping everything. Okay. Anyway, not even that she needed, just at a sure spite, and because I am not, I am only human. I am only human. Okay. But vengeance is mine, saith the Lord. I think she's a better woman than me because I probably would have he probably would have been found, from dust we was born and from dust we came in that condo years ago. Uh-huh. But God bless her. He tried to break her. I think he did break her, but he didn't shatter her. And anything broken can be fixed, but if it's shattered, it can't be fixed. I think that succubus demon did his best to try to shatter her, right? But he didn't. And I think she owned the men. So I'm glad, but that is a good interview. I hope that you ladies will go listen to this interview. Okay? Because she was dealing with a narcissistic, I suspect possibly even sociopathic domestic violence abuser. This is my opinion. I'm gonna say put allegedly on it. And I also believe that he is a succubus demon. Had the girl think she was so tied to him and all of this and all that. He preyed upon this girl via her trauma, okay, and used her for over a decade. But she still is a pretty girl, and she is a beautiful woman. And it really sounds like she's healing. I hope you go listen, definitely. The name of the channel is I can't think, let me pull it. The name of the channel that the interview on is called My Dear Future Wifey. That's the name of the channel. Hold on, let me try to show you his face. This is the guy. The name of his channel is titled Dear Future Wifey. That's the name of the channel, right? That's his name. That's his name. I thought I had something with it. I think I scratched it out. I didn't want to get it. But that's the Naia Jackson, y'all. But this is stills of the interview or whatever. And he said he wanted her to feel real comfortable when she came on his show. So, he called in makeup and wardrobe. He just did it up, real good for her, and all of this and all that. But now as far as the Lataria, this guy right here, a little I even honestly felt a little suspect about him. I'm not gonna lie, because he did admit that he was married at one point in time and he cheated on his wife and blah blah this and blah blah that. But he is now, reformed. And I'm thinking in my mind just a little bit. I'm thinking, well, she didn't get nobody to interview but you. Look at you. Do you want to be the next Derrick Jaxn? I was thinking that a little bit. I was. I'm not gonna lie. I kind of felt that way, but I don't believe, I'm not God, and I don't have to give second chances. Okay, I'm only human, and I was kind of feeling that way. I'm glad that she is doing better in her world. I hope she continue to get stronger and stronger every day. I hope that she is truly gotten over this incubus demon, and I hope that they would go on. I hope that he would go on and grant this girl the divorce, right? Because I even feel like he's using that over her head as a weapon. So yeah, I hope y'all go listen to it. But the name of the channel is called Dear Future Wifey. That's the name of the channel, right? Just type that in, And so so yeah, but anyway, it was a very good interview, right? So anyway, those are hey Carla, how you doing, Miss O? She's going to be unstoppable. I hope, I pray that she is, because she deserves to be unstoppable and great. Okay, because that demon tried to kill her. He tried to suck the life up out of her. Okay? But God is good and God is great. And I'm praying for her. And I hope she just stays strong, because she deserves so much better. And I don't blame her for nothing. He preyed upon that girl. He preyed upon her weaknesses. He is a demon. And I ain't God. And I ain't her. And I don't got to forgive him. That's just how I feel about it. Okay? hmm But I do not blame her. But I am glad she is getting stronger now. That's how I feel about it. He's a predator. And I don't trust him. And I don't even trust the one that she was talking to. Okay? Because like I said, I don't give second chances. But anyway, because you have to be a little self, ladies. I'm going to say it one more time, and then we're going to talk about Tina, and we're going to get out of here. I tell y'all this all the time. When it comes to relationships, you have to be selfish. Okay? You have to be selfish. And what I mean by that is you never give somebody all of you. You got to save something for you. Because if you give them all of you, when things start going bad and times get dark, the only thing you're going to do is drown. And I hate that this young woman had to spend so many years, but you got to go through what you got to go through. I hate that she had to spend so many years under this incubus demon, but he tried to kill her. But the blessing is he didn't succeed, and she gonna come out stronger and better. And she is a living testimony. Okay? She is a living testimony. And she's still young, and she's still beautiful. And she got hopes, and she got dreams. She's a smart girl. She's very articulate, very funny, very witty, you know. And I hope that before she even think about getting into another relationship with anybody, she will absolutely heal, and she will pray about it, and she will put God first. That's what I hope. You don't never love nobody more than you love your God. You first love your God. You love yourself. You love your children if you got them. And everybody else is under that. Okay? She even said on one part of the interview, she said her mama asked her, who are you serving? And I got that when I know what she meant when her mama asked her that. You see what I'm saying? Because are you serving God, or are you serving this incubus demon? Or because it seemed to me like you ain't worshiping God, you worshiping this demon. And that's why you're going through what you're going through right now. And it was deep. And I'm glad her mama asked her that question. Who you serving? Who you worshiping? Because this ain't nothing but a man. This ain't nothing but a demon right here. I don't care if it's your husband or not. We women are nurturers. But you got to be selfish when it comes to your heart and your soul and your mind and your body. You got to learn to be selfish. You can't give them all of you. And I'm telling you that from experience, because I have been married for over 20 years, and it's hard to be married. It ain't no Disney fairy tale. Okay, it's hard work. I told y'all the other day I've been through marriage counseling twice. Okay, I'm old school. If I was a lot younger, I don't even know if we would be married to this day. But I'm old. Now, my age don't have nothing to do with it. It's just like I grew up in a different era. And we were raised a certain way. But it is hard. Okay. It is especially hard when um I am very stubborn and strong-willed like my father. I am not like my mother. I am like my father. And when I say I don't give second chances, I mean I do not give second chances. It's not tolerated because I'm selfish. Okay? Anyway, I'm gonna leave that there. But it's hard. And anybody trying to make it telling you that, oh, I'm so married and we so perfect and we just live this wonderful life and we never go through it, they lying. They're telling a lie. Okay? It's hard. But life is hard, but God is good all the time. Okay? I'm gonna leave it at that. Anyway, move right along. I'm praying for that child. And I just want her to leave that demon alone. So let's talk about Tina. And the reason why I also want to talk about Tina, by the way, y'all know Tina Turner passed away. Yesterday she was 83 years old. Let me get him off the string because every time I look at him, oh Lord Jesus, I wish I could just jump into this child's body that maybe 5 years ago just jumped into her body for like an hour. And whoo, Lord have mercy. But anyway, let's talk about Tina. Mm-mm-mm. So the iconic Tina Turner, like I said, passed away yesterday at 83 years old. I'm sure we all done heard about it by now. I want to talk about Tina Turner in this video because she is also we all, know what Tina Turner done went through. She is the embodiment of a strong woman, in my opinion. She is a survivor. Not only is she a survivor, she's an icon, she's a trailblazer. She is just awesome to me, and I really didn't want to not say anything about her, because she is amazing to me. We saw that movie What's Love Got to Do with It, which is one of my can I just say one of my favorite songs. Okay. What's love got to do with it? Hey, what's love but a second-hand emotion? What's love got to do with it? Who needs a heart when a heart can be broken? Ooh, got to do with it. Hey, but a sweet old-fashioned notion. Anyway, y'all, sorry about that, but that's one of my favorite songs. I love, love, love me some Tina Turner. Like I said, I love her for her strength. Y'all know she was born in Nutbush, Tennessee. Child went on, as a teenager, met that widow Ike Turner, you know, suffered years and years of abuse under this man. He was another demon trying to break this woman. Okay. She was broken, but she wasn't shattered. We all seen the movie. Eat the cake, anime, eat the cake, and all this and all that, all the jokes people made and all this and all that. But through it all I saw was a strong woman. And I was so happy, even when she did when she was telling about, because she did an autobiography, she did an interview with HBO, and she was telling her story. And even back then, I seen some old vid. I think she was maybe talking to. It wasn't Oprah. It was like maybe an old GMA interview or something. When she was talking about, some of the things that she had went through and some of the things she had endured. But by the time she did that interview, she was in her 40s, and she had did the Private Dancer album. And so, she became popular again. She rebuilt her career, and she came back even stronger, and she survived that horrible abuse that she went through. She went on and, she remarried. People was talking about her. She lost she have two sons preceded in death before her. One died, I think they said a couple of months ago, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, her son passed away before she did. But the report said that she, had been sick for a long time. Now, I don't know how long she was sick officially, but did y'all know that at one point in time, let me pull them up. I think I got a picture of her and her husband. Yeah. Okay. So she went on and she got remarried to this man. I think his last name is Bach or something like that, right? They moved to Switzerland. She wanted to become a citizen over there in Switzerland. They made her give up her United States citizenship to become a citizen over there in Switzerland. She did that, and at one point in time, she had some kind of kidney disease or something like. Did you know that this man donated a kidney to her? Her husband gave her one of his kidneys, child. I said, Lord, well, all right. Well, all right. So I and you didn't never hear I never heard anything else about she was going through hard, times or anything like it as far as, another type of abusive. I'm hoping she after through all of that she went through in the first part of her life, I'm hoping that she, finally, found happiness with he had to care about. He gave her a freaking kidney for God's sake. Okay. And so, yeah, yeah. And so I'm just hoping, the latter part of her life was better than the first part. That's what I'm hoping for. I think she truly deserved it. Whoever she had to be with, as long as she found her some happiness. You had some people a little salty. I remember back in the day, and they was like, she abandoned her kids, and I know she didn't. She did not abandon her kids. She saved her life. All right, because he was gonna kill her. We all saw the movie, and the movie was bad. But can you imagine what she had to live through? She is absolutely a survivor. You know, another demon trying to take another black woman out of here. Didn't succeed though. So it really seemed like she was happy and content. You know, on that that thing that she did on HBO. And so I was so happy to see that. And but boy, Tina Turner, she is a legend. Like wow, she epitomizes to me in my mind when you see when they say strong black woman, you know what I mean? Like her life is her testimony, and I just see survivor. Not only do I see music icon, and then one of my favorite movies, The Thunderdome. We don't need another hero. Anyway, don't get me started. One of my favorite movies. Let me tell y'all something. I looked at the Thunderdome last night. Okay, I just hope that she was. I feel in my heart that she found some peace finally after all those years, and she deserved it. Whoever she found it with, she deserved it. Okay, because she survived, and so that's the reason why I want to do my, say what I had to say, offer my condolences, and speak my mind about what I felt about Tina Turner. Um, while I was on this video because we had talked so much about Derrick Jackson's wife, and I hope the book was worse than the movie. I didn't read the book, G. Jefferson, but I can only I wouldn't even you don't even have to read the book to know that we just got a little snippet on the movie. Can you imagine how it was in real life? You know what I mean? Without her even having to write it down. That's torture. Like I can't. Oh my God. And she got out of that thing with her life, rebuilt her life, and she was in her right mind. Oh my God. That's a survivor, as far as I'm concerned. And so anyway, but I want to mention Tina, like I said, in reference, because we was talking about Naia Jackson and all that stuff that incubus demon, Derrick Jaxn, and I hope that she end up being strong, just like Tina was, just like Tina is. And I hope that she, uh, finds herself some happiness and builds herself because she's still just 33 years old. She's still a kid. and she just get us. She don't went to college. She's a smart girl. She was running his business in the background. So I just want her to get her, get her career in order, whatever her goals are, set her path forward and leave that demon behind. Because I still feel like that he's trying to manipulate her. But I think that long as she stay faithful in that word and trust God first, I truly believe she's gonna be all right. And I truly feel like she done had enough of that thing after all of this time. And I'm talking about that Derrick Jaxn. Okay? Because eventually, at some point in time, surely pride got to kick in. Okay? And it seemed like she's getting stronger. But I really believe that succubus demon tried to kill her, y'all. Like, I really do believe that. That's how I feel about it. Absolutely. Hopefully, she will find happiness. But, first, she got to find happiness within herself. You know? First thing she need to do is love on herself and love on her children. But put God first. And I think she'll be okay. But that interview just really made me feel bad that somebody had to go through something like that. Like I really felt bad for her. I really felt bad for Tina. When we was, when we found out what she had went through and all of this and all that. And I really do believe in my heart. That's why I say I really do believe in my heart that she found peace and she found happiness during the second part of her life. Because everybody deserves peace and happiness and joy. And love don't hurt. Okay? Love is not toxic. It's not abusive. And I want y'all ladies, if you ain't doing it already, to learn to be selfish when it comes to yourself. Save something for you. Save something just for you. You don't have to stand for no nonsense like this. It's absolutely not necessary. Because there is no love greater than the love that you get from the Most High Creator, from the Most High God. There's no greater love. No greater love. And I even had to learn it my own self. That's right. Choose you first. No greater love. But anyway, that's all I got. I didn't even realize I talked longer on this video than on my but I want y'all to go take a look at that first video I did today because I promised that I was gonna do do another chapter another decoding the book of Revelation video. I did that. Y'all go check. I don't know what's going on with my what do you call it? My notifications. I'm gonna have to contact YouTube again. I do it time and time again. I didn't even get a notification my own self, okay? About my own video. Okay. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm gonna get off here. Thanks for staying, with me this long. But I really thank you, Saeed. I hope you guys got something out of it. I hope that it's, this is just my opinion on how I see the situation. But I hope that Naia goes on to live her best life. And I'm sure Queen Tina Turner is resting peacefully in heaven. Okay, that's how I feel about it. But thank y'all for listening to me. I'm gonna get off here. Like the video on the way out the door. Feel free to share the video. Um, you know, subscribe to the channel if you haven't. I really appreciate you guys. You guys be safe. Thanks once again for listening to me. I'm going to get off of here. Love you guys. Love yourself first. Okay. Talk to y'all later. Bye bye. Peace.